too sweet. Bullet Club, are they breaking up before they can even really get back together? That's what we're talking about with AEW Dynamite. There's also a Shaq attack coming to a possible pay-per-view for you some point in the next few months ahead. AEW is doing that. WWE NXT is kicking ass with 2 simultaneous tag team tournaments and maybe one of the best tag team matches of the year. We're going to get into all of it on this, your AEW Dynamite WWE NXT post show. It's the WrestleZone wrap-up. All right, if you're joining us, do want to remind you, it is Royal Rumble week. As you can see on the screen, we're teasing you there. John Clark, you pumped for the Rumble on Sunday?
Absolutely, 100%.
I'm pumped because finally we get to give away these. All right, I've been talking about it for weeks now. It is these Royal Rumble special giveaway prizes. It is Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, WWE Elite Mattel action figures, okay? The best in the line that every wrestling fan is going to want, and you could win these. Now, we haven't said anything about this on our Twitter or even our Facebook. So for weeks, only the people that watch our shows know about this. And we know we're going to post about this, and we know a bunch of jabronis, God bless them, jabronis nonetheless, are going to come in, John, and they're going to want to win these prizes. But I want the diehards to get it. I want the diehards to ride with us to get it. So keep an eye out for that. We'll announce the winners for that and our Royal Rumble post show on Sunday night. Also, the Royal Yumble, our annual fast food fracas, will be going down 1 p.m. Central Time on Sunday afternoon. No playoff football, so you don't have to worry about it, right? So let's get right into it. We're talking AEW Dynamite. We're talking NXT. How did you feel about Wednesday night so far? We'll jump into AEW first here, but give me your overall take.
I was impressed with the show, and like I've criticized the past couple weeks, there's a tiny, a bit excessive tag team action for me. Tonight, pretty much every
tag team action. There was so much.
Every single match was pretty much a tag team. So
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of tag teams tonight on both shows. Let us know what you guys think about that. Was there too much tag team wrestling? Because we got that on both channels tonight. There was a lot, you know. The main event was an 8-man on AEW Dynamite. They had, I think, 3 or 4 tag team matches on NXT tonight?
Yes. Yeah, more than that.
Mind you, they have two tag team tournaments going on there. So it does, I give them that. You know, they're planning for that here. And of course, we have the Shaquille O'Neal angle, which was really played up earlier today on social media. That'll be the big story, I think, for mainstream wrestling fans here. We got people tuning in from the UK. Thank you so much. From Wales in the UK. All right. I know we have a lot of great listeners out there, wherever you guys are watching, especially if you're watching for the first time. Let us know who you guys are watching from here. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. We'll jump into the conversation. AEW Dynamite is first. All right, we'll do NXT. I thought this was a pretty strong show. I thought this was a lot better than last week's show. I thought a lot of the matches were consequential and built to the next thing. And even the people that lost matches felt elevated in the process. Didn't feel as clunky. Didn't feel as sloppy. What was supposed to happen happened, and it meant something. Some indulgent things, but nothing too ridiculous. Pretty strong episode. Main event of the show was an 8-man tag team match seeing the too sweet Bullet Club get back together with the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and the Big LG. They are the Impact Tag Team Champions. The ongoing collaboration between them with the EVPs and AEW Tag Team Champions of Dynamite, the Young Bucks. A lot of history there on both sides. Continuing to have the dissension in the ranks. The Good Brothers riding with Omega, who's come over and done some beatdowns with them over on Impact, their own separate brand. And this group of friends are who's turning on who? Are they going to turn on each other? What's going to happen? They are on a team. They take on the Dark Order. Fun, frenetic match. A lot of crazy stuff all over the ring. Triple teams, quadruple teams, all 4 guys doing a super kick and a Meltzer driver to end the match. Strong stuff. The right team won. I'm sorry, Dark Order fans. I know they call them the home team of AEW, but they deserve the win. And the post-match sets up that the Bucks are in a tag team battle royale next week. All right. And the winner of that match gets to face the tag team champions, even though they are the tag team champions, at the upcoming pay-per-view. And the Bucks explain why they're in this battle royal. Because if they win it, they can take on anyone they choose. And they immediately two-sweeted the Good Brothers. This sets up Jon Moxley hitting the ring, Rey Fenix hitting the ring, and a setup for the big 6-man match next week. It'll be the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley, Rey Fenix, and Pentagon. Pac is actually going to take Pentagon's place, excuse me. So that's the big stuff for the Beach Break episode. What do you think of the developments with the Bullet Club over on AEW, John?
Wow, very interesting. A lot to sink in. A lot could happen. I mean, looking at all the possible ways that this could go, what do you think? Where do you think this is going?
I mean, does it hook you? Does it put the hook in your mouth? Because I was hoping for so much more from this when it started. I'm not saying it's bad, but it isn't barn busters. You know, it isn't. It doesn't feel as explosive as I would like it to be. The stuff on Impact, I think, is almost more compelling in terms of seeing those AEW characters there.
Absolutely.
And that's no shot at Dynamite. I mean, it's really cool to see these guys that we know as a group back together in some way. Want to know what you fans are thinking. How do you feel about this Bullet Club reunion of sorts on AEW Dynamite? Go ahead and fire off your comments. Go ahead and hit that like button, by the way. The more likes you guys give us, the more shares you give us, the more I'm inclined to do more content and do more things where your comments get on screen. All right. So we're doing a lot of stuff here this week. So continue to tell us your takes here. People enjoying the Sting and Darby Allin promo. I think that may have slipped past me. I feel bad if I missed that, but there was a lot on tonight's show. People thought the Dark Order was the only strong faction in AEW. Now they've been made to look weak. I don't know if they headlined the show. They didn't. I mean, they were in there with the two tag team champions of two major promotions. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't beat them, that's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world. And by the way, this team they weren't breaking down any doors outside of Brody Lee being their main guy and the champion. Then they went through that awful tragedy, right?
Yeah.
So they can take the L, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I was thinking.
I guess that's possible. Luke Gotzert's calling you out here saying nothing that AEW hooks you, John. They just can't get you. I know you're on.
I mean, he's not wrong.
This is like bringing someone who like only makes barbecue to a vegan restaurant and asking them to try everything. And John's like, the sauce is good. The sauce is good. The sauce is not interesting. I'm teasing you, John.
But you're not wrong. You're right. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay saying that.
No, I bet I know you have a lot of exciting things to tell me about with NXT tonight because I got to catch some things from that. And goddamn, this Kushida Leon Ruff Grizzled Young Vets match. This may have been one of the best tag team matches I've seen. One of the first great tag team matches of 2021. We're going to be talking about that. I think this is definitely did a lot of favors for the tournament and everything like that here. What's going on? Hello from Australia. What's going on, Kurt? Yeah, Aussie. Oi. You guys are in tomorrow already. Thank you for checking in for the show. Once again, if you're with us for the first time, go ahead and shout us out here.
The trolls are out tonight.
Oh, people trolling Monday Night Raw on a show on Wednesdays. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Here's the thing. I don't mind people saying fun, trolly things, but if you're talking about a show on another night and we're talking about this, it's fine. But just hang out, and watch the show. Just because you can type doesn't mean you have to say everything you think right away. Try and think a little bit more. That's all. Jungle Boy versus Dax was great. God, I love this match. I thought this was really, really strong. Teasing the kind of mid-card non-title program in AEW with Jungle Express. Okay. Marco Stunt, Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy, who has this classic Tarzan 80s pop song. Oh, the crowd was doing it the whole time. It got kind of annoying, but he took on Dax. He took on Dax Hardwood of FTR. With his tag team partner and Tully Blanchard at ringside. They got handcuffed to the big man Luchasaurus. A lot of back and forth action. Old school Memphis Heat. Everyone getting up, trying to interfere, but they can't. So it got more tension outside the ring. And that's another thing is, I'll say this about AEW. I think the one indulgent thing they always go back to is just doing too much stuff outside the ring that is consequential in match that just feels sloppy or just feels unnecessary. I thought this was kind of cool that you had all those outside players and they did something that made them reflective on the match, but not interfering outright in the match.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy got the big win only to get beat down. When he got the win, the crowd popped, only to get beat down big time here and take that spike pile driver. I think this could go in some cool places. I thought it was kind of cool when they also cut off the horns of Luchasaurus on his mask. It's not barn burner stuff, but I'm enjoying the storyline the more it goes on. It's one of those storylines that's definitely like each week, it's gotten significantly more interesting to me. When they got paired up at first, I was just like, I think FTR is kind of so above this, even though they just lost the tag titles here. Let me know what you guys think about what's going on with AEW. James Espanto Fernando Taguay, who's always with us, says the Elite has lost a lot of its coolness and excitement factor since forming AEW. Luckily, AEW has more to offer than the Bucks, Omega, and Cody. I would say that's absolutely true. And they aren't even operating really as a faction, the Elite, as we knew them when they started AEW, right? I mean, they've kind of had to spread those guys out because if they consolidated them into one storyline, it would kind of like, dry up the rest of the show, right, John?
Yeah. I mean, with the talent they have and what they're doing, it's hard to argue that they're doing things the wrong way. And some people like to say that they should be doing this or they should be doing that. But I think what is important is that they are putting out programming that it makes people want to tune into the show. I think that's really all you can ask for.
We have some people saying maybe we're gonna get a hair versus hair match. Well, the thing is with Dax, he's bald. He's a bald fella, so I don't think that's really gonna happen.
Well, there, if he loses, happen there.
Yeah, but Jungle Boy does have that wild mane of hair. Maybe if he loses the match, he's got to lose his hair. I'm sorry, if you're doing that, I'm rooting for the bald bearded guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to go with the bald bearded guys if you're doing that. That's my take as a bald bearded man. I'm gonna have to go with FTR on that one. Some people suggesting that. Another big angle here was set up on social media earlier in the night. No, you big sports fan. All right. You pumped about the Super Bowl, dude? You looking forward to old man Brady pulling this one out for the Bucks?
No.
And by Bucks, I don't mean the Young Bucks. I mean the Buccaneers.
No.
No, you're not feeling this? You seem very bitter and angry about that. What maybe are you rooting for Mahomes and the Chiefs?
Yes, I am. I mean, you have to keep in mind that I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and Tom Brady played in this division for like 12 years.
And beat up your Dolphins bad. Beat them up bad.
Wow, hold up. Every time he came to Miami, it was like a loss for him, okay? His record was just a little bit above 500 against Miami, so don't give me that.
Other people healing on Tom Brady in the chat now. I'm okay with that. Tom Brady's earned the heat, right?
Oh my, it's the same person.
I don't mind it. Some people giving NXT a 7.6. Don't worry, we'll talk about NXT in here. Is that you haven't given us your rating yet, John? Is it 7.6 pretty accurate for what you think tonight's NXT was?
Yes.
Okay, all right. We'll get to that in a second here. But I was kind of touch on this. Shaquille O'Neal, as you are a big sports fan, Shaquille O'Neal is one of the biggest athletes of the last 20, 30 years, right? In terms of names, you see him everywhere. He's on TV like crazy.
Oh, I get what you meant when he said he's one of the biggest names. I got you.
Oh, yeah, he's a big fella. He's a big guy. So he is doing the stream that they did before tonight's show. They did the AEW Awards. I didn't hear anything super big about it. They handed out some awards. I haven't even seen the results of it. I wasn't super compelled by it. But the one thing I did see floating around was this massive clip that simply saw Shaquille O'Neal take off his glasses and call Cody a wimp and a punk and says, I'll fight you. You're calling all place. I'll call all time. Yeah, I'll fight you anywhere, anytime. How about March? So that basically means we're going to get Cody versus Shaq at AEW Revolution. Now, they didn't set that date, but that's definitely everything they were talking about tonight. In-ring promo. Cody's going to respond. I thought we were going to get Shaq on the show this week. We didn't. We had this kind of tape thing. And then we have his response in the ring, and he's kind of doubtful, and he says he didn't take Peter Avalon last week seriously, and his coach, Arn Anderson's going to chew him out, and Arn tunes him out. And Arn provokes the memory of his father that nearly brings Cody to tears about how his father got on a plane after wrestling one night to fly back as soon as he could for the birth of his son, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So Cody understands the challenge here and says, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing here. Jade Cargill's out here talking crap for Shaq when he's not around, but you got to understand how big this is. And before you have that baby, you got to seize life as you can and know what it is, right? Got that baby on the way with his wife, Brandy Rhodes. She's not going to be in his corner. We thought this whole match was going to be Brandy Rhodes, the Rhodes, Cody and Brandy versus Shaquille O'Neal, the NBA. and the big tall Amazon, Jade Cargill. Red Velvet comes out. She is a young liege of Brandy Rhodes and has been wrestling on their web series AEW Dark. Cuts a hell of a promo. Says, you've been talking trash and I'm not going to have it. You're disrespecting Brandy. I'm not going to have it. I'm going to kick your ass. Let's do this thing. They didn't make it official, but it looks like we're getting Red Velvet and Cody versus Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill.
Interesting.
I'm gonna say this. This should just be Shaq versus Cody.
Yes.
And I understand whatever physical limitations you think you're going to have with Shaq, who is not a wrestler, but he's done a lot of physical things. And I think you could do a short match that works. And Cody is certainly a great wrestler who could make those things work, right? But I got to think to myself, Red Velvet, strong talent. God bless you. Right place, right time. You get this spot. Brandy Rhodes, maybe not an earth mover as a wrestler, but certainly a big name that's been around, and some people could say for that she had earned it. But she's not there. She's having a baby. Completely understandable. Circumstances involved. Now Jade could be at ringside, and Red Velvet could be at ringside and help him. But the attraction should be Cody Rhodes versus Shaquille O'Neal. Now I feel less. I don't want to take anything away from the ladies because I like the ladies being a part of a big match. But these are two ladies who are not the tippy top of AEW's women division. You know, this wasn't like Cody going and saying, Britt Baker, turn babyface. You're a huge star. Get in this match. Get in this huge thing where this huge celebrity is coming over and going to have this big match. Get me there. Have my back, and that would be a big deal. Thunder Rosa, you know? But mind you, they got their own thing going on. Hikaru Shida, why couldn't she come in as the AEW Women's Champion and fill that slot? On paper, this segment started great with Arn bringing up his father and the history, and this is a big moment. And you got to seize it and meet the challenge, right? I'm gonna say this is nearly a tune-out moment for me, and there's no shot at Red Velvet on paper. I just don't see how this thing has legs, but I've been proven wrong in the past, right?
This is like if they added Dana Brooke versus Ruby Riott at the next pay-per-view randomly.
I wouldn't say it's that bad, but it definitely has a sense of. No, and that's no shot at them. It's just that isn't. Here's the thing: that match on paper isn't. It doesn't blow any doors down right now. Where's this? Like, this is a storyline that's been built up. I understand life gets in the way. You're having a baby, right? This happens.
Becky Lynch did it.
Yeah, but I mean, just go and have a match. Go and have a one-on-one match. Is there something that are we going to have enough limitations here with Shaq where you can't do this? I mean, also Shaq having a one-on-one match is a big deal. This should feel like a bigger deal, and this should be trending number one.
Is it really going to be a match, though? Is he really going to do anything that would constitute him as an entertainer like Pat McAfee did? Or is this going to be like what Floyd Mayweather did and just hit a couple punches?
Well, the thing is, Floyd Mayweather did a lot more than a couple punches. You know, he took choke slams and he took bumps and he got thrown out of the ring. And
well, I meant more on the giving end of things. But
you mean on the giving ends, on the sense of, is he going to get
like
in there?
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, is he going to go? Tyson Fury got in the ring and went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll give Tyson Fury that. People, we're talking about athletes coming in and doing pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Tyson Fury had a great match, but he got a count-out win on Braun Strowman in Saudi Arabia, and he knocked him out, right? And it was a working punch, and he did a bunch of physical things in a short match. It wasn't great, but he did a bunch of physical things and put his body on the line, took some real risks as a pay-per-view performer. He makes his money on pay-per-view. But Pat McAfee is the best athlete to do this. I would say, like, the best athlete to come over. Better than Lawrence Taylor, better than Tyson, better than Mike Tyson, better than Tyson Fury. All right, no rip on those guys. But this, in terms of athletes who aren't MMA guys to come over and do wrestling, Pat McAfee's the bar. Thing is, Shaq's a bigger celebrity than all those guys. A much bigger celebrity than all those guys. And I think there's an attraction. Him doing a body slam to Cody. It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be you're gonna be seeing that trending everywhere. And is it gonna attract people to buy a pay-per-view? I think it will. And this could be, I'll be frank, this could be a main event on a pay-per-view, even if you don't want it to be. You know? And I'm feeling this is less than it should be. It feels less than it should be. It should feel like a barn burner burn down the door, tell everyone you know, hey, if you loved, getting Shaq Fu, if you loved NBA on TNT, you're going to love this. Like, this doesn't feel nearly as big a thing here. We already have people saying Conor McGregor will join pro wrestling. I don't know. He's got many, many other big pay-per-view fights left in him. I do think he'll do something in wrestling before his days are done.
Yeah.
People not liking the Sting promo. That had to be the worst promo I've ever seen. We talked a little bit earlier about the Super Bowl coming up here, which will be in the home of WrestleMania this year, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. They're also going to be hoping the Super Bowl. What a busy time for them in Florida. JMC always with us. He goes, I picked the Buccaneers to make the Super Bowl because I wanted the home team to be there. I'll switch to the Chiefs to beat the Buccaneers at the Super Bowl. He doesn't mind switching teams here. I don't mind who wins in the Super Bowl. I just want an entertaining game in terms of like those big things. If I'm going to watch the whole game,
you want to know what I want? If we can be honest for a minute,
mm-hmm.
I want there to be a very streamlined, efficient, safe way to get these fans in the stands. And do you know why that is?
Are you saying for the Super Bowl or for WrestleMania?
Oh, for the Super Bowl. You want to know why? That will have an absolute direct effect on what happens for WrestleMania.
John, you say that as someone who's already got he's got the plane ticket, he's got the rental car. You got I know you're going down to Tampa.
I don't want to get too specific, but let's just say that I know where I'll be.
Okay, all right. You're going to be down there. Do you have
concern
about getting a
ticket? This is regardless, just so you are completely aware.
Yeah,
I'm going. Whether I'll be inside.
It's going to be really hard to get a ticket for this. It's going to be really hard to get a ticket for WrestleMania this year, I think. If they're only going to sell like the reported numbers are going to try and go for like around 20,000. They're going to try and do more than the Super Bowl does because they're going to have the floor, right?
Yeah, I'm well prepared. Right. I have my sources.
Yeah, there's sources. Continue to give us your thoughts on AEW and NXT, kind of wrapping up AEW here. Some strong performances outside of the main event here. I did enjoy plenty of the different things on this. Britt Baker had a great match with Shayna. I thought this was really, really solid. The AEW Dynamite Women's Division has been lacking a long, long time. And some people would even say that Kira Shida isn't fun champion, but not a great champion. Isn't really moving the needle. But I would say this match did great favors to make her look like a mean, nasty heel who will do whatever she needs to do with Reba at ringside to win, and put in that lockjaw with the surgical glove. And out comes Thunder Rosa, who's been terrorizing for weeks. We're getting Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. Thumbs up on this. Britt Baker is the biggest star for the women that AEW has, and she's now healthy. She's a big personality. This is the right way to go. Big match, but almost kind of outshines everyone else in AEW in terms of the women, right?
Yeah, it's no questions asked there. No argument.
No argument. Overall, strong episode of AEW Dynamite. Lot of build to different things. We had Team Taz smashing some goons through tables. We had developments across the board on multiple different factors. High elevation of things. I was a little bit down on last week's episode. I'm thumbs up on this week's episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job. Everything stayed in the ring. No match felt too sloppy choppy here. I'm giving it a thumbs up. You were always going to give it a thumbs down. You didn't watch it, John. I don't care about what your thumbs are doing.
Okay, I've given it a thumbs middle sometimes, but mostly it's like right in here.
You're wavering down. Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to turn the volume up a whole lot louder on mine. This is a solid 7.3. All right, 7.3 can't be a 7.5 dog. All right, gotta have a little bit more bite to be a 7.5 dog. This is we have our Impact post show that we did today, John Clark, and I quoted you as the 7.5 dog in that when we give out ratings on it. Please go check that out. If you don't watch Impact, I think that everyone who likes our show will still enjoy this post show because myself, Bill Pritchard, Dominic D'Angelo, Robert DeFelice of WrestleZone have a lot of meat slapping good times. We also mock Dominic for liking old guys, as we put it. And we made a lot of just very funny, ridiculous jokes that are very inappropriate. that hopefully don't get us in trouble with YouTube. Go check that out. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. It's in your ears as well in the podcast feed. A ton of stuff in our podcast feed this week. We just dropped an interview with Matt Cardona. Zach Ryder, as you may have known him. Chris Jericho is going to be in the podcast feed this week, talking about his brand new documentary. So those are interviews. We're going to have 5 different episodes, by the way, this week of the WrestleZone wrap-up. This is my 3rd show today. We have a big Royal Rumble preview tomorrow. Plus, we have a roundtable discussion about WWE Network moving to Peacock and all the different things they're doing with the streaming deals. We have an in-depth conversation about that.
Don't forget what else we got coming up.
We got the Rumble. What else? What else do we have coming up? I'm forgetting something. What am I forgetting?
Rhymes with Rumble.
Oh, the Yumble. That's right. We're doing the Yumble. Sunday afternoon, 1 p.m. Don't eat a late breakfast because we're going to brunch and crunch. Every fast food mascot coming down the aisle. I can confirm.
Mr.
Confirming. I'm going to confirm some names. I'm going to confirm some names now. I'm looking at my official page here. I can't confirm some names. Just coming in off the wire for the Royal Yumble. Sunday afternoon, streaming to you on free for view exclusively on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else we're gonna post it. It'll be a fast food over the top rope Royal Yumble. That's right. It's a feast for the beasts. We will have the Coca-Cola bear.
Defending.
We will have we will have Wendy. We will have the Pringles guy. All right. We will have Darius Pringle in this match. All right. We will have Pepsi Man, the rare Japanese mascot of Pepsi. All right. Chester Cheetah will make an appearance in this match. The Colonel, KFC, strutting down that aisle.
My favorite.
Is that your favorite to win the match? You're picking the Colonel.
If we don't got Mr. Sheets might be not be what might.
Mr. Sheets, the Sheets freak. I've confirmed. I've reached out to him very hard to book him. We blew up the budget trying to get the Sheets freak, but we can confirm we do have the Sheets freak on Sunday.
That's my pick. That's my pick.
We couldn't get the Kool-Aid guy because you can't make him in the video game. So it's
the underdog
jar
Mr.
person.
Sheets coming for the dub.
Luke's going to actually say company man has puckered his lips. They're calling you company man.
We have somebody asking if the Little Caesars pizza guy made the cut.
Oh, Little Caesars? Yeah, we'll book him. I think we can get him. James Esponte, who's been with us, riding hard with us for a couple years. This is our 3rd annual Yumble. If you don't know what it is, it grew from before your time on the show, John. We made a joke about this, and we'll talk about NXT in a minute here. But we made a joke one time that was basically like someone was making fun of those KFC commercials that WWE did like 4 or 5 years ago. And we were doing a show just like this. And they were so upset that you're dressing wrestlers up like the KFC guy. And then they're super kicking chickens in the ring. And they were saying like WWE, this is so disrespectful. And I was looking at what the Bucks are doing and you have John Cena doing goofy stuff and all those things. And I'm just like, it was so fun. It was just like ridiculous fun that you can do in wrestling. It's not the main event. It's a commercial for fried chicken. I thought it was so cool. I loved those. I thought they were so fun and just silly, like that you can poke fun at wrestling and take the piss out of it. And immediately we, on the spot, Ross Berman and Robert and I were doing a show, and we immediately just stopped doing the show and started booking all of the fast food mascots that we thought would be fun in a match. And now we've gotten to the point where we're doing that.
A 30-man rumble.
A 30-man Yumble. All right. We don't want to get sued. All right. We're already pushing it with a couple of copyrights on this.
Fair enough.
Maybe not. It's parody, by the way. We're not pushing it with copyrights. It's parody. I'm reminding you about that. People want chic tofu. I'm not putting tofu in here. There's a fast food Royal Rumble. I'm not putting health food in there. What are you trying to do to me? This is ridiculous. People saying, you heard it, folks. Big Kevin Robert DeFelice is a meat slapper. Oh, we're slapping some meats. There's going to be big, sweaty meat slapping fun here. All right. Oh, man, you better call the butcher because meat's going to get slapped on Sunday afternoon. It's going to be something else. 1 p.m. Central for that. It's going to be live. You'll be able to watch it afterwards. That will not be in the podcast feed, by the way, because it doesn't make any sense if you don't have the video. But thank you guys so much for the podcast listens, by the way. Putting us on the charts in Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Egypt, and of course, the island nation of Cyprus. We rule the Mediterranean Sea, an entire body of water on this planet. In terms of wrestling podcasting, we've dominated it. We've dominated that of the island of Cyprus.
I'm putting WrestleZone on the charts in Center County, Pennsylvania.
Center County, baby. Yeah. We're going to regionals. We're not going to be number one. We're going to regionals, baby.
Never lost.
We're not winning state, but we're going to regionals. We're going to beat the school down the road, man. But definitely playoffs. Playoffs. But if you guys support the show, I really, really appreciate it. Go listen on whatever podcast app. If you don't watch our shows, you want to listen on later on, it's just the same, man. It's the same party. So we do all the same goofy stuff here. Let's get into NXT. NXT got the Dusty Cups going on, men and women at the same time. When they started doing that, I thought it was too much. And then on top of it, outside of the tournament, we had a big, big odd couple main event, all right, with the NXT Tag Team Champions, Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch versus Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. I didn't get to see the main event. I did see some other things on the show. Tell me about this week's NXT.
Firstly, let me cut you off when you said that when this first started, you thought it was too much.
I thought doing the women and the men at the same time was too much.
That implies that you've since changed your mind and you think that it's not too much.
I think they're doing it the right way.
I'm here to correct you. This is way too much.
Oh, okay. So it's too much for you. You're not liking it.
I have the official count here of the 7 matches that we saw on the card tonight. The only one-on-one match was, and I don't even know if you could call it a match, but I guess it was pretty good. Bronson Reed versus Isaiah Swerve Scott. But we'll get into that. Do you want to talk about the women's tag or the men's tag first? Take your pick.
I'll talk about the one I got to see because
go ahead.
There was just enough of. I had the 2 screens, and eventually I had to put the other screen with NXT down and focus on Dynamite. But there was enough of a commercial break between where I could catch all of it. I absolutely loved, and this is the match that drew me the most from Dynamite tonight. Absolutely love the grizzled young veterans who I think are just they can rule anywhere. I think they are one of the best tag teams in the world right now. They strut out to the ring and cut a barn burner promo and tear down the whole house. They come off like European sports hooligans and bullies and guys you don't want to meet in a back alley who talk the game and back it up. Then they get in the ring with New Japan legend Kushida and uprising star Leon Ruff, who can just sell his ass off and put on a hell of a match where you are so desperately wanting to see Ruff and Kushida advance in this tournament. And they go all over the place. Every big leap outside of the ring felt like it could change the match. Every hot tag felt like it could change the match. The selling from Leon Ruff. This guy made you feel like he was in peril. And Kushida's ability to move so nimbly like Spider-Man on his feet was impressive. But God damn it, Drake and Gibson are mean, nasty, relentless guys. Their tag team double teams are so impressive. Like so repetitive. It's not just like one move to them. It's always like an elevating sequence whenever they get in there. I absolutely love this. I think Grizzled Young Veterans winning is a smart idea. I think Kushida and Leon Ruff can take the loss, though I think Kushida really raised his stock in this tournament. This is one of the best tag team matches I've seen in some time. I think this is the best match in the tournament so far that I've seen.
Well, it was definitely the best match tonight. I will agree with that. It was fun. It was nonstop. Leon Ruff is not looking like a joker anymore. He actually appears as if he belongs somewhat. Grizzly Young Veterans are probably at the best point they've been at in their career as a tag team, and they are being treated that way as well. I don't think they're going to get past the semifinals again this year, though. I do think that we're likely to see Thatcher and Ciampa, the unexpected tag team, make it into the finals. And as of now, I do believe that they will come to some sort of disagreement again in the finals that will likely cost them winning the whole tournament. but I do see them getting there, and I don't see Grizzly Young Veterans getting the whole way there. But they certainly made a name for themselves, and they'll be in the tag scene for a while to come.
Where do you see this tournament going overall? Because we had plenty of tournament. We also had the women's Dusty tournament get going here as well. Where do you see the tournaments going? Does it raise the stock of a lot of people? I think that's the thing that people don't see on a tournament. Yes, it crowns one person, but it does bring a good segment of the roster up a grade. What do you think it's doing here overall? And do you think it's doing its job?
I think overall it's doing a very good job, especially with our opening match tonight, which was the team of MSK versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Now, Killian Dane and Drake Maverick, some people say they can afford to lose, some people say they can't afford to lose, but they have turned into that more serious yet not as serious version of Breezango, where they are kind of a comedy act, but they can win matches when they have to, mostly because of Killian Dane being a part of the team. But MSK winning tonight, they remain my pick to win the entire tournament. I think that highly, instantly elevates them as a new tag team that might not be familiar to some people that only watch certain shows. Talking about myself also here. Um, they they're a name that you're going to remember because they win the Dusty Cup and you're like, oh, MSK, they're a new team. They must be the real deal. They're pretty good. And that's going to put them instantly into a match with Oni and Danny for the tag titles. So I do think the tournament is doing its job. And out of the teams left, MSK, Grizzled Young Veterans, Undisputed Era, Thatcher
Mhm.
Ciampa, and then Lucha House Party. You have to agree that MSK is probably the favorite. What do you think?
I do think MSK is the favorite. I did love some things I caught from tonight's show. The wraparound graphics in the Capitol Wrestling Center when a team won, they immediately pulled up the
The bracket.
bracket and their name moves ahead. I
Yep.
thought that was so cool. I thought that was really sports oriented, like the team that wins goes and says boom, just like you would see in the playoffs and anything playoffs. And so I was really into that because they did it with Grizzled Young Veterans, to do it with MSK. I think those are the two teams that we see in the men's final. I think MSK versus Grizzled Young Vets is the final for the Dusty. And we're 2 weeks in. I'm on board with that idea. And that is two teams. Grizzled Young Vets, they've been top team in NXT UK. And there's been a few times where they've looked at the idea of making them a bigger team on the United States side. MSK come in with a ton of hype from Impact Wrestling. Establish them as a team, big showdown final. Who's going to be the next great tag team in NXT, in WWE? And then at the same time, you got to think whoever wins this tournament, they're going for those tag belts after this. You know, a lot of times people said the NXT tag team division overall was paled in comparison to AEW's and this constant head-to-head battle that they do in comparisons in wrestling fans' minds. But this tournament's got to raise people's eyes. I do think there's an overkill of tag team wrestling on the show right now because they're doing the women's thing at the same time. But doesn't mean it's not good, right?
Absolutely. They could still pull us a twist here and surprise some of us. I don't see it happening, but you never know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. People want to see Gus Fring from Los Pollos Hermanos and Jimmy McGill from Cinnabon. Wow, I did not know I was going to get some Breaking Bad references on here. I'm gonna have to talk to Robert and see if we can book them for that. Luke Godsiart with quite the pull here of characters that are associated with fictional fast food on a show about drugs. What? Am I gonna have to book Keenan and Kel from Good Burger? Good Burger, is that coming up next? Like, what's going on here? The local we had one person who was a pizza delivery guy, John, who said because they're a pizza delivery guy, they should be in the Humble. I'm not opposed to that. So,
Hey, I mean, people were saying I should be in it.
people, what? You work fast food? You work? Come on,
I used to work at Sheets.
you work. Oh, you are.
I also worked at KFC before too.
That's why you support the Colonel.
They're my top two. They're gonna be the last two left in the end, and I'm gonna be conflicted.
It's like I'm choosing between my parents.
They're just gonna eliminate each other at the same time, so their feet touch at the same time.
Yeah, they're gonna do a Luger Bret Hart in '94. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna comment here. Steven Chambers wants to talk about the Dakota Kai Raquel Gonzalez match from tonight. He says that they're his favorites to win the women's Dusty Tag Team Tournament.
I don't disagree with that, although I still think that there's some pull to be said with Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I think they could definitely benefit from it the most, especially as a heel team. Although Raquel and Dakota are arguably also a heel team. It seems
Tell
like
me
a
about
heel
the match
team.
tonight. I know they had I heard some good things about that women's match tonight.
Yeah, so they go off against Aaliyah and Jessie Camilla. This was essentially, to me, it was a squash match. This was kind of like I don't even know how you would call it. It was pretty much to make Dakota and Raquel look dominant, and that's exactly what it did.
Mhm.
So I am going to assume that they will probably advance. Well, I mean, they're already in the semifinals because there's only 8 teams in the women's.
Yeah, not nearly. The field isn't nearly as big as the men's.
It's half, yeah.
Yeah, I got to think whoever wins this women's tournament gets a shot at Charlotte and Asuka if they're still holding those belts past Sunday. No, you don't think so? They get nothing. They get nothing.
I think they should maybe each be granted a singles opportunity at the champion because it seems like Raquel is in line to get EO anyway, so it would make sense.
We have some fans saying they want to win the Yumble. Everyone's trying to book themselves in the Yumble. Tell me what else is going on in NXT tonight that you want to touch on. There were several different matches here.
Well, let's talk about more tag action, which was the main event. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly, who was fulfilling his promise against the tag team champions, that is, with, of course, some assistance from Pete Dunne at the very end of the match. Even though Finn and Kyle did win, it was a good main event. It was nothing special that we might have seen the past couple months or weeks, but it was still a very good match. But this is what everybody's talking about, and this is what everybody's looking forward to. The fact that we're going to see Finn Balor and Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship. That's going to be special.
That is going to be a special match. Did they confirm that for TakeOver? Is that on the 14th?
No, they did not confirm that match yet. It'll probably confirm next week.
Okay, so we're going to get they're going to set the court here. That's only a few weeks away. That'll sneak up on you a little bit sooner than you think here. And that'll be TakeOver on Valentine's Day. How do you feel about them doing like a pay-per-view network special on Valentine's Day? I've heard some people say that's not a good idea. Other people don't care.
I don't care. It's gonna be.
I think with the pandemic, it's not as big of a deal. How many people are actually going?
I mean, it's better than doing it the Sunday before when the Super Bowl's on.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't want to run with the Super Bowl guys. They aren't doing the halftime unless we get they did the halftime
heat. Yeah,
I
don't
think
we're getting that.
They didn't do that last year. They did it the year before.
2 years ago. It was when the last time actually Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl was when they did halftime heat.
I thought that was
a
really
good match too. I tuned into the match.
Yeah, I thought that was cool, and it was fun when they did it with Rock and Mankind back in the day. So give me something like that at halftime here. But O'Reilly and Balor, odd couple pairing here. A lot of action between them. They almost teased them kind of not getting along. Obviously, they had 2 title matches, and Balor got past them both times. O'Reilly's running with the Undisputed Era, but he's certainly still featured as a big star here. But the lane is Pete Dunne and Balor. The collision there. How special can it be? Can it live up to the hype? I've heard some people say that Balor isn't the champion he's supposed to be for NXT. Is this another chance for him to say that people are a little bit too judgmental of him?
Maybe, but I don't really think that's going to be too big of an issue. I mean, do you think it's a thing that needs to be addressed?
I think they need to ramp it up. I think they need to throw gasoline on, especially when the comparison to AEW is so present there. AEW, though, pretty fractured, though, with Kenny Omega as the champion. They have them kind of spread thin in this multi-person thing here, whereas the scene, I think, with Balor as the NXT champion can be a lot more about one guy taking another guy for the title. You can do these multi-man match things, I think drill it in. Whereas AEW has a lot of noise, multiple people, a lot of different things. NXT has that right now, tag team tournament, right? But I think with Balor, he can really get people to be quiet and pay attention at the same time. And almost in that quiet part where he's not making a bunch of noise, he almost becomes louder in a way. So I think I want to see that. I want to see that like contrast kind of kick up a notch. Definitely give us your takes here on this week's NXT. So what do you give it? The 1 to 10. 1 being you got to wait until 2023 to get the vaccine. 10 being you can get it tomorrow. So give me the 1 to 10. You're getting a dog? Is there a bark in this dog?
7.25.
Oh, okay. 7.25. Why not a 7.5, dog?
Tag team matches are just
It was too much for
every
you.
single time. And don't get me wrong, these two tournaments are very entertaining and very, very good. But when they're combined, taking up 80 to 90% of the show, it's just like, Io Shirai again is put on a hold. The women's tag team scene frozen. The NXT title scene, even though we know where it's going, not really much action going on there. NXT North American champion. I mean, and especially the tag champions, Oni and Danny. Right. I mean, the tournament is to crown a number one contender, but they're not really doing much anyway. Not to mention, Damian Priest has been nowhere to be found. Rumored to be moving up, but still, you think we'd see him. Carrying Cross.
Maybe he shows up. Okay. Yeah.
Karrion Kross, we're only getting video packages for him right now. He's obviously in a hold position waiting for his rematch for the NXT Championship. Probably gets the winner of Dunn and Balor. And then third, we still, haven't seen a certain somebody in a while that
Who's a certain somebody?
we could see this person on Sunday. I hope we do. Velveteen Dream.
Okay. That can upset some people.
I know you get upset. You get triggered when I say his name. But
yeah, I know, but I'm not triggered by it. I'm just telling you what reaction we're going to deal with across the internet.
Well,
you know
he's
what I mean?
coming back eventually, so
yeah, we'll touch on that. So I agree. I can see where the too much tag team stuff is weighing on you. I do like how they're spreading it out. They have the 205 live show on Friday nights on the network exclusively. And they've been doing some of the tournament matches there. I thought that was a good idea. Shout out to Elena Black, by the way, debuting in WWE as Cora Jade. She debuted along with Priscilla Kelly in that tag team match. She lost in the first round to Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. I got to work a interviewed segment with her at AEW a few months ago. Just a really, really great wrestler. Just a wrestler when you see her immediately, you're like, going to be a big star. And it was so cool just so quickly later on to hear this and see her get this opportunity. So I was very, very happy for her and that opportunity. So definitely check out 205 Live if you want to get the whole picture of the tournament completely. If you're a completist, definitely go check that out. If you want to know more about WWE and this big move to Peacock and how it really does change the wrestling industry, as if WWE didn't already do that with the network already, we are going to be covering that in depth over 30 minutes, just focusing on that with the big brass of WrestleZone tomorrow, plus our full Royal Rumble preview. We'll be dropping that tomorrow afternoon, so you guys be checking that out. We already have that one taped. And I want to ask you this, though. Royal Rumble happens tomorrow. Say it happens tomorrow. It doesn't happen before SmackDown here. Edge came back on Monday night. You and I covered that in our post show. It was the best part of the week. Edge coming back really shakes up the possibility of who wins the Royal Rumble. On SmackDown, they've put the Stardust on more than a few figures now. At first, we thought it was Daniel Bryan's Rumble to win. Now, they're saying, no, Daniel Bryan's saying he's going to win the Rumble, but he hasn't won a singles match in a few weeks now and has lost to two other guys like Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro, who are now also starting to get the look at him here. But a lot of people think maybe this is Edge coming back with the feel-good win. I was kind of turned on that possibility today. Who wins the Rumble if it happens today, John? It's a deep breath.
Brock Lesnar.
I've heard some people throw that theory out there that Brock Lesnar.
I've changed my mind. I was on Daniel Bryan's train the past month when the news broke from reliable source Russell Votes that there was an internal ending to the Rumble being discussed that many fans would not like and would probably not go over well with fans. if you watch this show, you instantly knew that it was going to be them discussing the fact that Brock Lesnar could return and win.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of fans are going to be upset about it, but how many fans lost their mind when Drew McIntyre eliminated him last year in the Royal Rumble? I mean, just
because he eliminated like 12 people before that.
Exactly, and it mattered. You know, as much as people say Brock Lesnar comes back and squashes people, he's put over a lot of people. You know what I mean? He's put over a lot of people. And yes, he will come back and win the title and have the big matches and do all those different things. But I'm telling you, he does a lot of things that move the needle for WWE. And I'm of the thought that you bring in your big players. There's been talk that this year's WrestleMania is going to have a lot of former stars on it and prominent matches, because those are people that move tickets and get people to want to be at a show. WWE is going to ask for more money for this tickets for this show. They're going to charge a lot more money for it. That's a factor. Another big factor is they're going to be moving to Peacock. They're going to be moving to Peacock, and they're going to move there with WrestleMania, and they're going to move there with names that people know. That is not a shot at any of our favorite superstars that work their ass off week to week on WWE. It isn't. It isn't. It is, though, an idea that WWE has to play to the casual viewers. This is the big time of year where the hardcore fans get mad at their buddy who comes over and asks them what's been going on with wrestling for the last 9 months. You know, but they also want that friend there next to him at the Royal Rumble in the Zoom on Sunday night, you know, talking about how you're going to bet and do the different, you know, games that everyone does with the numbers that pop up. This is that time. And when that time happens, you have names that people care about. Let me be frank. More people are going to react to a Brock Lesnar winning a Royal Rumble than a Cesaro winning a Royal Rumble.
Even though there's no fans, the media, the Twitters, all that stuff will go crazy.
That isn't a shot at Cesaro. Brock Lesnar galvanizes people with his decisiveness, and you got to get people to care. It's not about who you love. Here's the part here, guys. You're getting worked then, and you should want to get worked.
And in case you guys
work me good.
In case you guys haven't. In case you guys haven't figured out where I stand, I'm all for this. I really hope this happens. And Herman Takar's comment here: think of the storyline between Paul Heyman, Brock, and Roman, which is exactly what I think is going to happen. I do think that somehow, some way, and this has already been teased for a couple of weeks now, how Roman is kind of treating Paul Heyman a little bit like trash. You know, like, you work for me, you do what I say. And I can see Heyman, you know, saying, look, I'm going to turn my back on Roman and then go with Lesnar. But the only way this works is if Roman remains a heel and Lesnar is the face in this rivalry. That's how it would have to happen.
The thing is, Lesnar has had a couple of different bouts as a hero, a babyface.
Boombox Brock.
Yeah, yes, but I do think people only view him as a monster heel. Like, that's the definitive idea of him. You know, like, if you got inducted in the Hall of Fame and you had to say, I'm going in as a babyface or a heel, Brock Lesnar goes in as a heel, right? And that's his lock. That's what he's in. I don't think that aura can be taken from him.
Pick your poison, because you know we can have on the other end of the spectrum here.
Oh.
Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania.
And a lot of other people are talking about that. So you just think this is Brock Lesnar's match to come in and win?
If he is in it, I do think he will win it. If he's not in it, I'm sticking with Daniel Bryan. Although I have been gaining some momentum on thinking that somebody like Shinsuke Nakamura or even Cesaro could pull out an upset win. But I'm still, if Lesnar's not in it, I would safely still go with Daniel Bryan. And we've seen before people lose in the weeks leading up to the Rumble and they miraculously win.
But I know Daniel Bryan saying this is the one thing I haven't done that I've always wanted to do is win the Rumble and go to Mania. He went to Mania and was successful, but he didn't win that Rumble, and fans really wanted him there. And Roman Reigns won that Rumble, to be specific, about 6 years ago.
I was there.
So you remember. And fans really wanted Daniel Bryan in that match.
Last show.
Yeah, and I believe he lost earlier in the night to Bray Wyatt. So a lot of people thought, if he's losing this match, then he's going to be in the Rumble later on tonight.
I kid you not. When Rey Mysterio came out at number 30, returning to WWE, He
Ray wasn't
got
advertised, right?
crapped on.
Oh, I
Yeah,
remember that.
it was a surprise. It was a complete
Was Ray,
surprise.
yeah, Ray wasn't. Ray was Ray on the roster still at that point?
He had been away for years, and he came back.
Okay, and that was 2014. Now, the thing is, a couple years later, he made that return at the Royal Rumble, and the crowd went ape. They went banana, as Pat Patterson would say.
Yeah, so that was bad.
Yeah, I'm hoping Rey Mysterio gets to do something big at WrestleMania this year. 2 nights of it. Do something big with Rey. Did they do Rey versus Dominic? That'd be crazy.
I'd like to see them. That's a whole different discussion, but I'd like to see them win tag team championships.
I agree too. And I can tell you, I did an interview with Rey Mysterio in October of 2019, I want to say, and a big discussion that I had with Rey was about what he wants to do in this stage of his career. And at that point, he had not yet signed a new deal with WWE, but said, everything I'm doing at this point in my career is just to set my son up for greatness. That's all I want to do.
Yep.
And I think he wants to have a WrestleMania moment with his son and call it.
I think he will.
I don't know if you get that this year. Maybe you get it next year. We'll see.
Well, Ray has like 2 or 3 more years left to go. So
yeah, maybe that first one is this year. We'll see. So that's where things stand here. Definitely join us tomorrow. We'll run down the Royal Rumble. We'll run down this Peacock WWE Network deal. Also, remember, keep an eye on our Facebook and our Twitter to win Roman Reigns or Daniel Bryan, maybe the main event of WrestleMania, and these WWE Elite Mattel action figures. I know I've been teasing it, but when we drop this, we will drop the contest itself on Facebook and Twitter before Sunday, and we will announce the winner on our Royal Rumble post show. So if you consume our content for you guys on the podcast side of things, maybe this is time for you to come over to our Facebook and our Twitter to turn those notifications on, know exactly when we go live, and get all the information. We'll post the contest. It'll be something very, very simple, just along the lines of share this, all right, and do a very specific thing on Facebook or Twitter, and you do that thing within a very quick time frame, and you will win. All right. So definitely let us know about that. If they want to give you a follow on the Twitter machine, where do they go, John?
John R. Clark 12.
You can follow me at Kev Kellum. That's at Kev Kellum, KEVKELLAM on the Twitter as well. I'll be talking about a lot of different wrestling. I'm tweeting jokes about different things here, having a lot of fun. Definitely thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. So many different options for entertainment, so many different things. Endless things. I was looking at Disney Plus, and there's like 18 movies I haven't seen on there. And part of it is because I spent so much time doing this with you. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel like I'm missing out so much because I get to have this wonderful, nerdy companionship with all of you watching and listening. You guys on the podcast side who are putting us on the charts around the world. Thank you so much. You guys faithful with us. Hey, do we have the biggest audience in the world? No, but I think we have a great audience. We have great fans that I love seeing by name here. And if you're new, hop down on the couch. The couch is real long and there's lots of seats. And we're all goofing and saying silly stuff. And that's what we're going for here. Thank you so much for supporting the show, John. We're going to watch this Rumble on Sunday. And when we watch it, our belly's full from the Yumble. But when we watch this Rumble, and even if Brock Lesnar comes out and wins the whole thing, we're still going to do what?